this week's episode, I am talking about how you can enjoy every task that you have to do whilst wearing my new time management hat. Hello, it's Emma Mills here and welcome to episode 210 of MiTV. Happy New Year! First of all, I hope you have had or maybe still having the most fabulous break. You may be thinking, why am I wearing a hat? I've never worn a hat before in MiTV, but this is one of the best Christmas presents I received. So if you're an avid MiTV watcher, you'll know that I went on the Virtual Business Mastery, Tony Robbins, back in August. It turns out that it takes around about 4 months for things to arrive from the US to the UK. And they had sent across a Tony Robbins Be Lucky cap, which I've coveted for ages. It was there, just like open it, it's like I've got a hat. There was also Tony's, if you're a Tony fan, you might know of it, the Rapid Planning Method box set that came with his audio program. So why am I telling you about my Tony Robbins haul that made me the happiest person when I opened it, even more so than, well, basically any other present I received? So I'm here in my full Tony Robbins like merch, hat, and Rapid Planning Method is basically Tony's time management method. Now, I'm not here to rip this off and tell you everything that I'm learning inside here. Although, I mean, look at the quality of the stuff that Tony produces. I cannot wait to start writing in this journal this year. As soon as I started listening to the audio program, there is one thing that all the business gurus that I talk about on here say that I've said a million times, that we all know, and that it's how, for me this year, one of the main reasons how you're going to enjoy 2023 more. Now, obviously, I guess you've spent time setting your goals. If you've been watching MiTV, you need to simplify your goals. You need to understand that they might change, and you need to check in with yourself weekly that you are achieving what you want to achieve. But inside all of that, I know that things happen, curveballs, and you get stressed. And for me, this episode is about how you just enjoy 2023 more. Like, this is what it's about. You know, we're not getting this time back. There are 3 things certain in life. I know we normally say 2, but there is death, there is taxes from the HMRC, and the third one is that we all have 24 hours in a day, and that we don't know how long we've got left, but we all have that 24 hours, and how people use that time varies so greatly. And generally, if we could put a graph up on this screen now, I'm pretty sure that we can correlate people's success in life of happiness, wealth, time is correlated to how they are spending those 24 hours. Like, the two are just completely parallel. You know, if you spend, apparently the average American, I know this because I listened to a podcast talking about it, but the average American spends 7 hours a day watching TV. I mean, I can't even compute that. From what time do they start watching TV? How do you do 7 hours a day? I mean, I like a Netflix murder mystery true crime thing more than the next person, but 7 hours, I'm struggling to know how you even do that. So how you use your time is super, super important. And in that, I think we can all agree that there's stuff that happens in your life that you love and you absolutely vibe off, and you get into flow and focus, and you're like, yeah, this is what I'm meant to be doing. Like me today now, filming. I was like, yeah, like if I could do this every day, fantastic. And then there are things that they drain you, they don't make life better, and you do not enjoy your time doing them. And so the main focus of the rapid planning method of Tony Robbins, like it's a very long program, as you can imagine. There's like loads of parts to it, loads of planning parts, but one of the key overriding things is that it's insane to spend your time doing things that do not matter to you. Now, we don't need to think about this too hard. Like, these can be simple things like going to buy the shopping. Now, some people really enjoy that task. I am not one of them. I don't enjoy driving to Sainsbury's. So we have started we get an online shop. Like, this is just a really, nearly knocked my hat off. This is a really, really simple example of it. So it might be things like picking up the dry cleaning. So some people might not mind that at all, but other people is like, I need to go and get it before it closes. Now I'm driving there quick and I'm stressed and I'm rushing and I need whatever I've had dry cleaned for tomorrow. Like, these are things that do not enhance life. And so I think alongside your goals. And it's a big focus of mine to enjoy the journey alongside what I'm doing. So that's a big goal of mine, just to day in, day out, enjoy it, because there's been so many times where for a prolonged period of time I'm not enjoying it, and that's not what life's about. I know that. So is to, alongside that, start to pick off the things one by one that either you hate doing or they just don't matter to you. Like they need to get done. People call them low value tasks. Like they are things that need to happen, but they don't need to happen by you. You need to do, as I've said in a million MiTVs, you need to do what you do best, and you need to get someone else to do the rest of those things. And a lot of the time, cost comes into it because you have to pay someone else to do these things. But even if you start with one thing per week and we start to make a list, the number one thing you can do to make life more enjoyable in 2023 is to get time back, is to leverage your time. So that means understanding the things that you can get somebody else to help you with. And I'm not just talking about a virtual assistant here or a PA or an employed member of the team. It could be about getting the food shop ordered online. It could be about getting a cleaner for 2 hours a week. That's a £20 cost per week to make just life a little bit easier when you get home, and you can actually spend that time with family, wife, boyfriend, rather than then having to go and load the dishwasher and sort things out. So I suspect that very shortly, in the next couple of days, next Monday, you are going to get straight stuck back into busy work week, routine, habits, tasks that you have been doing naturally. And today's MiTV is about going, okay, what are those things? I might have to do them for the moment, but what is my list of time and tasks that I need to leverage in my life? Like, I want to get excited about what I want to achieve in 2023. And that means me doing the things that I love. And there is a way, and not all of these things are expensive ways that you have to get some help. We want to focus in on what kind of things can we get off your to-do list. So this is about asking yourself every day, how do I get more leverage in my life? How do I get more time to do the really good things that I either enjoy or make me more money? And I have put together a list of all the things over the past 12 months that I have leveraged. So this is from personal stuff to work things, and I have done a MiTV on this before, but don't let your, and I don't know whether it's like a self-esteem thing or whether it's just a kind of, because people are used to just doing stuff and solving stuff, it can be sometimes hard to get out of the mode of, well, oh gosh, it feels a bit bougie to get somebody to do that for me, or it feels like, oh wow, I'll just do it, they won't enjoy doing it, or you almost feel apologetic that you are asking somebody to do that for you. People have other skill sets and expertise, and they love to support people like you in all areas of your life, whether it is personal, domestic stuff, work, diary, calendar, collecting things. You know, one of the best examples I have of this is that a couple of months ago, I was at a networking event and I was sat next to a guy who owns a software business. We'd not met before. Oh, we'd met kind of briefly before, but we'd not had a proper conversation. And this particular networking dinner is in Essex. And pretty much every time I go, and if I meet someone new, then the conversation will be like, oh, you're from Manchester. Wow, you came all the way to Essex. And it's like 2 trains, a taxi, the tube, and a taxi in Manchester. It's like, I mean, it sounds like a lot. It's not, and it's worth going every single month. But this guy that I was sat next to, so I said to him, where are you from? And he's like, oh, from, I can't remember the exact name of it, but it's in the Midlands somewhere. I was like, oh, like, what's the train like? He's like, no, I got a taxi here. I was like, all right, a taxi to Essex. So he got a taxi from, let's say it's Coventry. It wasn't Coventry, but it was somewhere in the Midlands. Got a taxi from Coventry to Essex. And he was like, yeah. He's like, I made the decision that we had 2 cars as a family. He said, I realized I had a lot of downtime when I was driving to places. And I used to think that listening to a podcast or listening to, I don't know, whatever, the net time thing of listening to good stuff while you're driving. He said, I used to think I was gaining there, but I realized I could do even more with my time. So he actually spoke to his wife about, do we really need 2 cars? And his intention was to get rid of one of the cars, and that whenever he needed to go somewhere, he would get a taxi or a driver to take him. And to make this appealing, amenable to his partner, he said, okay, the cost that we spend on the car every month, he put it into a bank account, and he would use that to pay for taxis, travel, the transport that he needed to get him to places. And from a mathematical point of view, so far, he has spent less than what he was doing on his car in taxis. But in this particular instance of this networking event, it had taken 2 hours in the car to get him from where he lives into Chelmsford in Essex. And in that 2 hours down, he sent emails, he made phone calls, he worked on, he had his laptop with him. Now, whether you can work on a laptop and be in the car and not feel sick at the same time is a different story, but he had spent the 2 hours working on stuff and getting things done. So the networking dinner, it finishes about 10, half 10. So we'd booked the same taxi. I suspect he stayed around. The guy then took him back at half 10 and he got home at 12:30. And in that journey back, not only does he get time, I guess, to just relax a bit more than drive in, but decompress, he again followed up on things, people that he'd followed up with, people that he met. He worked on some stuff that was important to him. He used that time. So he had 4 hours there where he was in a car and he could work on the things that were important to him. Now, whether you think that, I'd take way more taxes, it would cost way more than a car, that is not the point of this story, whether financially it's the same, because the stuff that he manages to get done in that time, I'm sure far outweighs the cost of paying for the taxes or a car every month. The time that you get just to have downtime, because I'm sure lots of you, if you have families, you're busy, you've got a business, you've got a partner, there's a lot of time demands on being present with them, on giving your mind and presence to other people. So just to have that downtime of, okay, I've got 2 hours here to do what's important for me, to work on stuff. I was like, that is smart thinking. So this is just an example of, I'm not saying you have to get rid of your car and get taxis everywhere. I mean, having a driver, I'm sure that is definitely on my list, to be able to get someone who can wait for you, to take you to places so you can literally just get in and not have to get taxis, get Ubers, wait for you know where I'm going with it. And it really is a smart use of time. It's why people like Tony Robbins and people who are super, super successful get jets, because it's completely on their time structure. Like when they need it, it's there and they go. There is no wasting time. And whether you disconnect from that kind of example or not, the whole ethos behind leveraging as much as you can, so you can work your magic, you can enjoy what you do, and you can enjoy your business, I just think is so important for this year, and it's important for me. So where this episode lives on my PA's website, there's just going to be a list of all the things I have outsourced over the past year, personal and business, just to give you some ideas, some inspiration, some things that maybe can apply to you as well. I hope this New Year's Eve version gets your head out of the dirt and into the clouds. Hope you're not too jealous about my cap. You can buy them online and they're actually not that expensive. But yeah, I hope you had the most amazing break. I hope you're excited to get back to work and enjoy 2023. And I will see you next week for episode 211. See you then. Bye-bye.